But right now, it's my pleasure to welcome my very good friend and Beach Grove's own Lisa Sears.
You got a lot to be smiling for. So what the fuck you be wildin' for? Come on, I get my grin on. I'm smiling, bitch, cause I always get my win on. I've been on so many different stages. I graced the cover.
Oh yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear me. Okay. Huh?
Can you hear you what?
What? I can't hear you either. There we go. I can hear me now. Okay, guys, I apologize. I was gonna wear a dress, but this cold, it wouldn't have matched. So I don't sound like it would look good. Okay. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. How many of you have been affected by cancer in your life? Right? Almost all of us, right? I give you permission to laugh at cancer tonight, please. I'm going to tell you my story. I'm doing something a little bit different, and I give you permission to laugh. You have to laugh through it. You have to laugh at it. So, just going to do something a little bit different, tell you my story of cancer, because a fellow comedian goes, you need to just tell your story of the cancer journey and everything. And I'm like, okay. Actually, there's a lot of funny in it. So, I was driving in the car with my girlfriend at the time, and we'll just call her by her real name, Twat Waffle. And this is a true story, you guys. And we're driving down the car, and I said something smart aleck to her, and she backhands me in the tit, and I grabbed my tit, and I said, real funny when you give me breast cancer. Side note, my age, they used to tell us if you got hit in the tit, you could get breast cancer. When I used to have to box, I had to put cups in my sports bra. That was the 100th time I had said that. There wasn't 101, though. I found a knot, and I was like, that's not normal. And she's like, no, it's not. So I was like, well, shit, I probably should find a doctor to go to. And I only went to my family doctor. So I put a post on Facebook, and I said, I'm looking for a girly doctor, and I prefer a gay man with small hands. Right? Well, I had quite a few people talking and everything, and people kept putting Dr. Box. And I'm like, fuck yeah. I want Dr. Box for my box. Yes. Yes, I do. Nope, 6-month wait. Couldn't get into her. So I went to another one. And I'm sitting there, and she checked my titty out. It wasn't very big, so I just only had a small case of breast cancer, you guys. No worries. They were very small. But she goes, okay, da-da-da. And she checked it out. She goes, I want you to go get a mammogram. And I was just like, shit, I've heard all these horror stories about these things. And I'm like, fine. And then she goes, I want you to go see somebody else. And she goes, do you want me to give you an exam while you're here? And I looked at her and said, are you hitting on me? And she goes, you're not quite my type, and your girlfriend's right there. And I'm like, okay. So, went in, and whoa. And then got my biopsy, and I was sitting there with my breast surgeon, and she goes, well, it's cancer. And I'm like, well, I figured. And she goes, we're going to introduce you, and we have to do this BRCA test. You have to see if you have the gene. And so they had to do this, and she introduced me to what's going to be my booby babysitter for the next 9 months of this. Breast navigator. And I called her my booby babysitter. She was the nurse that helped me through everything and helped me with my appointments. And I sat down and introduced her. They introduced me to her, and I said, I have 2 questions. And she said, okay. And I said, has it spread, and am I going to die? And she said, we don't think it's spread, and you're sure as hell not going to die. And I said, okay. Can I have a piece of paper and a pen? And they were looking at me, and I started writing everything down. And I turned it around, and I said, here's my schedule for the year. Work around it. I wrote all my 5Ks, my mini marathon, Vegas, Mexico, and Gay Pride Month, of course, because I said, you can't do chemo during June. I'm out of commission. Festivities. I got to go play gay, you guys. Cannot have chemo that month. So they were just like, what the fuck? You just got diagnosed, and you're telling us how to... I'm like, yeah. Well, that week, we decided, you know what? I got diagnosed with cancer. Let's have a party, guys. We had a party at the hair salon, going pink for boobies, and 150 people came out. That's how you do it. It's how you do it. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. But, so, wait a minute. Phew. So we did the going pink for boobs, and then I had to go to this thing called Chemo Teach. Has anybody gone through chemo? Yes? No? No? Okay, so Chemo Teach is this thing where you go sit with the nurse, and it was me and the nurse and Twat Waffle again. Yeah, well, I would do it all over again. I would just edit some of the parts, but who they were played by. But we're sitting there, and she's like, okay, so there's certain foods that you're not going to be able to eat. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, lettuce. And I'm like, okay. Do you see the size of me? Not a problem. And she said, now, if you have any dogs, don't let them lick you for 24 hours after chemo, because they could get sick. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. And she goes, or anybody. And I'm like, why would, oh. Yeah, should have probably let her. But, no, I didn't. Oh, come on. You've dated a twat wobble too in your time, I'm sure. Jeez. Oh, that's where the line? Really? Fuck you. So, my second chemo, I was bald. It was St. Patty's Day 5 years ago. This St. Patty's Day, it'll be 5 years ago. So, in true Sears form, I go in with one of those green hats on my bald head and red beard. By the end of chemo, the red beard was down here. Well, I mean, I had lost that too. I'll tell you what though, here's the thing. Your hair doesn't grow back the same. After chemo, mine grew back curly. Have you ever tried to spike a pubic hair? I was like, this shit can't happen, you guys. But the good thing is, I hardly ever have to shave my armpits or my legs anymore. But this, I feel like I'm back in the 80s. Fuck, it just grows ridiculous. But I am from Beech Grove and went to South Grove and, yeah, we got some South Grovers? Okay. So me and the girls are all still close and good friends. We have been since we were 5 years old. And we were planning our 40th birthday trip to Mexico. And they're like, your oncologist isn't going to let you go to Mexico. And I said, he doesn't really have a fucking choice, does he? We've planned this for years. So we go to Mexico, and of course they're making sure I have suntan lotion on my bald head and all this shit. We forgot about my legs, which got sunburnt to hell. We were just so focused on my head. Which I was kind of cute bald, by the way. Enjoyed it. But, there it goes again. The funny thing down in Mexico, so, you know when you get in the water and when you come up and you shake your head and then you go like this with your hair? I did that about 4 times when I come up out of the water, you guys. I didn't have shit on my head. Yeah, I was just like, and everybody's just looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, habit? I don't know. But the nice thing about being bald, we were down, on the beach taking pictures and stuff, and there was random people taking pictures. And they were further in the view, and so I just stuck my head so that I could photobomb with just the tip. Yeah, I can't imagine what those people's pictures came out to look like. But, yeah. So, I ended up getting a double mastectomy, and it's kind of like, you know how when guys lose weight, their dicks grow? Right? You guys know this, right? It's a true fact, because you can actually see more of it. The opposite is true. When you lose your tits. This thing's fucking huge, you guys. It's like they almost went like, and this all just popped out. I woke up from that surgery and was like, holy shit, I'm fatter than I thought. But, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I should have written it better or should have written more about it. But that was 5 years ago, and, it's a journey that I wouldn't change. Like I said, I would edit a few parts and people that played the parts. But that song, I make them play all the time because it's a true fact. I am living my best fucking life possible. I'm living a dream. I don't know whose fucking dream it is, but it is fucking amazing, you guys. And I don't know. There are people that struggle with cancer and going through different things. And people always say to me, I can't complain to you. My problems aren't near like yours. And I'm like, if you're bad, your worst day, if it's your divorce, if it's your worst day of life, and it's your worst day is breaking your nail or whatever. Fucking pussy. But, I mean, if it's your worst day, it's your worst day. It is no different than my worst day or getting diagnosed with cancer or anything else, which isn't the worst day of my life by any means. So, it's all what you make of it. And I think people need to know that you have to laugh at this shit. You have to. And some of you guys, probably have never been affected directly with it. Some of you have with your parents or family members. But you have to keep a good attitude and go through it like that. Now, I will tell you, here's the other thing. People don't know about me that don't really know me very well. If you tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it 10 times worse. So a year after my diagnosis, I decided I needed to post a topless picture of me so people could see my badge of honor. This is my badge of honor. This is my badge of honor. See, that damn cold. But I posted it, and people started reporting me for nudity. I was like, oh, hell no. It's now Topless Tuesday, you guys.
Yeah.
We do it all the time. Anybody want to participate? I'll take them. I don't care if you have tits or not. We'll still do it if you want.
Yeah.
Not you, though. I don't like you. Okay. So, but, you know, with breast cancer sometimes comes some girly cancer. And so I had to go get checked. And back to the lady that was hitting on me the first time, or trying to check me the first time. And I'm sitting there looking all sexy with my feet up in the stirrups. And she goes, you look good. And I was like, I did shave for you. She's like, no, Lisa. No, that's not what I meant. And I was like, okay. She proceeded to pull out this wand. Very large wand. Started putting a condom on it with lube. And I was like, how am I supposed to wear that? It doesn't have straps. I quickly found out because I lost my virginity that day. Yeah. I hadn't prepared for it, so I said the first thing that came to mind. I was like, do I owe you dinner? We have a date next week to get some fish tacos at the 1949. Just kidding. I'm Lisa Sears, but make sure you check us out on The Gays of Our Lives is our show. It's not just a podcast, it's a show, so you can watch it. Look it up online at laughs.life or The Gays of Our Lives on Facebook.
Oh, Lisa. All right, let's hear for Beach Grove's own Lisa Sears.